This summary is about the book As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. In this book, you will learn about the immense power of your thoughts and how they shape your entire life, covering key lessons on happiness, habits, Stoic philosophy, mental health, relationships, and human psychology. Have you ever wondered where the true strength of your life lies? In the outside world? In money? In relationships? Or in the fate that we constantly complain about? The truth is, true strength is hidden in our way of thinking. Imagine waking up in the morning with a clear mind, every thought filled with positive energy. When you look at yourself in the mirror, you feel like, yes, I'm going to do something extraordinary today. But the reality is that most people, upon seeing themselves in the mirror, first start counting their flaws. Some will say, I don't have money. Others will think, I don't have skills. And some will remain trapped in a web of fear. Gradually, this very thought starts to shape our lives. Think about it. When you think, I can't do anything, your mind starts to act accordingly. You ignore opportunities as they come. But when you think, yes, I can, new paths start to open up on their own. In fact, we become what we think about every day in our minds. This book explains a very deep truth. Our thoughts not only change our mood, but also our entire reality. Stress, anxiety, and comparison are all illusions created by our minds. Imagine if we could learn to control our thoughts, we could conquer every pain, every difficulty, and every setback. Isn't it strange? Humans have reached the moon and Mars, but they are still struggling to understand the power of their own minds. We're creating technology to change the outside world, but the real secret to changing the inner world is something we already have: our thoughts. Chapter 1: Happiness and Mindfulness. Have you ever wondered where true happiness is hidden? Is it in money, in big houses and cars, or in fame and glory? Most of us spend our entire lives in this confusion. We keep thinking that when I get a promotion, I will be happy. When I have millions of rupees, I will live in peace. When the world recognizes me, I will feel satisfied. But the truth is that happiness is never found in the future. Happiness is not something we have to find tomorrow. It has always been with us, right here, right now. Imagine waking up in the morning with a slight smile on your face. You have the same problems and the same challenges around you, but your thinking has changed. Now you have started to look at every problem with a new perspective. This is mindfulness, the power to live in the present moment. But a secret is hidden here. We humans often hold our minds captive in the chains of the past and the future. If we make a mistake, we punish ourselves by repeatedly recalling it, as if someone shot an arrow at us and we ourselves keep pulling that arrow back and forth into our chests. Sorrow happens only once, but we live it hundreds of times in our minds. This is why we break down from the inside. Now imagine if we could free our thoughts from this pain. If we could tell ourselves that the past is gone and the future has not yet arrived, our troubles would be cut in half right there. Mindfulness teaches us that life is only in this moment, and how to live this moment is a decision that is solely ours. Have you ever noticed how happy children are? It's because they live completely in the present. They don't worry about yesterday or fear tomorrow. When they play in the mud is their whole world. They laugh, they cry, and in the very next moment, they start laughing again. Perhaps this is why it is said that true happiness is in simple things. But as we grow up, we fill our minds so much that this simplicity is lost. True mindfulness comes when we begin to live every moment consciously. When we are eating, we should only feel the taste. When we are walking, we should feel the vibration of every step. When the wind touches our face, we should feel its coolness. These small moments tell us that happiness is not outside, but within. Imagine how your life could change if you just brought yourself into the present moment for 10 minutes every day. No tension would be able to stop you for long. No fear would eat you from the inside, because you would have learned that happiness is not a destination, but a practice. The truth is that people spend their entire lives looking for happiness on some future date, but the reality is that happiness
happiness is always standing in front of you in your today, in your now. So when you start your day, remember that you have a choice. Either you can make yourself sad by remaining a prisoner of the past and the future, or you can learn to live your happiness in this very moment. And when you learn this, you don't just become a happy person, you become a mindful person. And this mindfulness fills your life with clarity, peace, and purpose. Chapter 2. Habits and personal growth. Have you ever wondered what shapes your life the most? Your dreams, your destiny, or your hard work? The answer is your daily habits. That's right, friends. Life doesn't change with big decisions, but with those small choices that we make every day. Whether it's picking up the phone as soon as you wake up, or meditating for a while, whether it's scrolling late at night or waking up fresh by sleeping early, these small habits gradually build your entire personality. Imagine if a person made a habit of improving by just 8% every day. A little better today and a little better than that tomorrow. How much would that person change in 1 year? But here, the truth is that most people think, I will change when a big opportunity comes. The reality is that a big opportunity never comes. Our growth is hidden in those small daily steps that we take for granted. We all want success, but success is not an event. It's a process, and that process is fueled by our habits. The problem is that we often choose bad habits in the name of comfort. We think, what difference will it make if I use my phone more for 1 day? But this 1 day is repeated again and again, and gradually that habit becomes our identity. The secret here is that habits can be both your friends and your enemies. If you form good habits, they will pull you forward. If you choose bad habits, they will gradually pull you down without you even realizing it.
Think about any great person's success story. Any scientist, entrepreneur, or athlete. The real secret of their success is hidden in their habits. Discipline, consistency, and focus don't come suddenly. They are built through daily practice. And this daily practice is what makes you extraordinary. But here's the biggest question: how to build new habits? The answer is simple. Start small. If you can't exercise for 30 minutes, just start with 5 minutes. If you want to read 50 pages every day, start with just 2 pages. When you take small steps, your mind doesn't resist, and gradually these small steps turn into big results. The real power of habits is that they move you forward without you having to think. Just as brushing is natural for you, if you make good habits natural, growth will become effortless. Remember, personal growth does not mean being perfect. Growth means becoming a little better every day, challenging yourself every day, and getting out of your comfort zone every day. And when this becomes a habit, success comes looking for you. You don't even have to chase it. So now ask yourself, are your habits taking you forward or pulling you back? Are you consciously shaping your life, or are you living as a slave to your habits? The secret is right here. Your destiny is in your hands, but its direction is determined by your daily habits. So, if you want personal growth, start changing your habits, because the real path to changing your life is not outside, but inside your everyday small actions. Chapter 3. Stoic philosophy. Have you ever noticed, friends, that sorrow in life often increases simply because we allow it to? That is, our reaction makes the difficulty much greater than it actually is. If we repeatedly dwell on a small problem in our minds, it starts to feel 100 times bigger. This is where Stoic philosophy comes in, an ancient wisdom that teaches us that our strength is not hidden in external things, but inside our minds. This philosophy tells us that every event in the world is not in our control, but our reaction to that event is completely in our control. Imagine this: someone said something bad about you. It's not in your hands what they say, but it's completely in your hands how much importance you give to their words. If you hold on to those words and replay them again and again, your sorrow will increase. But if you decide in one moment that it is not in your control and let it go, your peace will return. Stoic thinking teaches us that it is useless to worry about things that are not in our control. Will it rain or not? What will people think? How will the economy change? All of these are not in our hands, but how we behave in that moment, how we think, and how we keep ourselves strong, this is in our hands. The secret is that the energy a person spends on things that are not in their control, if they were to spend that same energy on their thoughts and actions, their life could change completely. Stoicism also teaches us that pain and suffering are different things. Pain is what happens naturally, such as illness, loss, or failure. But suffering is what we give to ourselves by repeatedly remembering that pain. That is, the world shot one arrow at us, but we ourselves keep shooting 100 more arrows from our own mind. Now, imagine if you only felt that one arrow and stopped shooting the rest. How easy life would become. This is the Stoic way, to feel less sorrow and to maintain more inner peace. And the most important lesson is to control your mind, not the world, because the world will never run according to you. But your mind, your thoughts, and your choices are all yours. If you can master them, the chaos outside will not be able to disturb you. Stoic philosophy is not a dry theory, it is a living practice. When you are stuck in traffic and burning with anger, Stoicism says to you, "Is this in your control?" The answer is no. So why burn yourself out when you are broken by a loss? Stoicism says it is not in your hands to change this loss, but it is in your hands to accept it gracefully. The secret is that the more you practice this thinking, the more you will feel free. Slowly, unnecessary stress, anger, and troubles will disappear from your life. So remember, being stoic does not mean suppressing your emotions. It means understanding them, managing them, and giving yourself inner strength instead of becoming a slave to them. And when you find this strength, you realize that the greatest power in the world is not external achievements, but inner calmness. Chapter 4. Mental Health. Have you ever felt that despite everything being fine on the outside, everything feels scattered on the inside? There's a smile on your face, but your heart feels heavy. People consider you successful, but when you lie in bed at night, an emptiness pricks you. This is the story of mental health. We often think that health is something only related to the body. If the body is fine, everything is fine, but the real truth is that the health of the mind matters even more than the body, because when the mind is troubled, the body also slowly starts to get sick. Stress, anxiety, and overthinking are not just emotions. They slowly eat away at our lives from the inside. Imagine a person who feels that they are not enough every day. No matter how much they work or achieve, they still feel that they are behind others. This thought slowly turns into depression. And the scariest part is that all of this happens on the inside. On the outside, the person looks normal, but on the inside, they are broken. The biggest enemy of mental health is comparison. When we compare our lives to the highlight reels of others, we always feel small. Social media has further increased this poison. Every day we see perfect pictures of others and think, why isn't our life as perfect as that? But the truth is that every person is fighting their own struggles on their own level. They just don't show everything. The secret here is that the very thing that should have motivated us starts to break us. And we forget that our value is not less or more than someone else's success. Our value is determined by how we see ourselves. The first step to strengthening mental health is acceptance. That is, accepting that, yes, I am also human, and I also have weaknesses, and that having these weaknesses is not a sin. In fact, the person who recognizes his weakness finds true strength. The second step is self-care. This doesn't just come from going to a spa or watching movies. Self-care means giving yourself the time that heals your soul. Sitting alone sometimes, writing in a diary, meditating, or just feeling nature. Small moments recharge your mind. And the third biggest secret is don't bottle it up. We often suppress our feelings inside because we are afraid of what people will think. But the truth is that suppressing feelings is like covering fire. It may not be visible from the outside, but it slowly burns everything on the inside. Talking, sharing, and letting your emotions out is the beginning of healing.
Life is full of ups and downs, but if your mind is strong, you can endure every storm. And if your mind is weak, A small gust of wind can also bring you down. This is why prioritizing mental health is as important as taking in oxygen. So now the question is, will you take your mental health lightly, or will you consider it the biggest investment of your life? The answer to this secret is in your hands, because you become what you think. And if your thoughts are healthy, your entire life will become healthy. Chapter 5. Relationships. Have you ever noticed, friends, that it is almost impossible for a person to achieve everything by themselves? The true strength of our life is hidden in our relationships. No matter how successful we become, if there is no one nearby to share our joys and sorrows, that success remains incomplete. Relationships are the invisible thread of our life that keeps us connected. But the truth is that in today's era, if something has become the weakest, it is relationships. People come close, but then drift apart. Even when we are sitting with our family, we are lost in our phones. Friendship, love, and affection are all slowly fading away. Imagine a person who has everything, money, fame, and power, but they don't have a single heartfelt relationship. When they sit alone in their room at night, the emptiness starts to sting them. This emptiness is so deep that no luxury in the world can fill it. The true beauty of relationships is that they give us what nothing else can: a sense of belonging, warmth, and unconditional support. But the problem arises when we start taking relationships for granted. We feel that those people will always be with us. But when we repeatedly ignore them and hurt them, they also slowly drift away. The secret is right here. A person thinks that relationships will continue on their own, but the reality is that every relationship needs to be nurtured. Just as a plant needs water every day, relationships need care and respect every day. The biggest misunderstanding is that love is only shown with words. But true love is not shown with words, it's shown with actions. A small help, a genuine listening ear, a true smile. All these things connect relationships deeply, and these small things make life meaningful. But the biggest poison in relationships is ego. When the fight of I and you increases, the strength of we breaks down. Ego slowly hollows out every relationship, and by the time we realize it, it is often too late. Healthy relationships don't mean perfect relationships. There are disagreements and misunderstandings in every relationship, but a strong relationship is one where people let go of their egos and reach out to each other again, where admitting a mistake is not a weakness, but the strength to save the relationship. The true riches in life are not measured by your bank balance, but by your relationships. In the end, when a person looks back, they don't remember how many awards they won or how many cars they bought. They only remember whom they truly loved and who gave them affection. So now the question is, are you prioritizing the relationships in your life, or are you losing those relationships which are the most valuable to you in the race for success? The secret is that until we realize that relationships are the true wealth of life, we will remain empty inside. Chapter 6. Human psychology. Just think, friends, where is the biggest battlefield in the world? A war zone? A political stage? Or the market of a business empire? No, the real battlefield is inside our minds. Our every victory and every defeat is first decided there. And the name of this battlefield is human psychology. We humans often assume that we are logical creatures, but the truth is that most of our decisions come from emotions and the subconscious mind. That is, we feel that we are choosing the right thing with a clear mind, whereas in reality, our hidden beliefs and fears are controlling us. Imagine a trader who invests in the stock market. They know the strategy and understand the numbers. But as soon as the market falls, fear takes over their mind. They panic
and make wrong decisions. Here, their defeat is not because of their knowledge, but because of their psychology. This same psychology works in every field, whether it's a career, relationships, or personal growth. Human psychology repeatedly teaches us one thing: perception is reality. If you feel that the world is against you, you will see every situation through that lens. But if you feel that every situation is an opportunity for growth, that same world will become supportive for you. The secret is right here. Life is not what it looks like on the outside. It is what our mind's interpretation makes it out to be. That is, before changing the world, we have to change our thoughts. The biggest trap of our psychology is confirmation bias. That is, we prefer to see and believe things that match our old thoughts. If someone feels that they are unlucky, they will connect every small problem to their bad luck and ignore every opportunity. Gradually, this belief will become their reality. But if someone can reprogram their mind, their world can change. And this is the most amazing power of human psychology. Our mind creates what we repeatedly feed it by thinking and feeling. This is why self-awareness is so important. When you understand the tricks of your mind, you don't remain a slave to it. You know which fear is real and which is just an imagination created by your mind. But another deep truth is hidden here. We often want to feel right more than we want to be right. That is, many times we stick to our wrong beliefs because we feel that leaving them would hurt our ego. This is why people ignore life-changing advice simply because it challenges their old way of thinking. The secret is that a person fights their biggest enemy every day. And that enemy is not someone else on the outside, but their own mind. So if you understand your psychology, you can win any battle in the world, because the real victory is not on the outside, but on the inside. And when you win this inner game, you become the person who truly controls their life. Conclusion. In this journey of life, we have learned that true strength is not hidden outside, but within us. Happiness is not somewhere in the distant future, but in this very moment. Habits build our identity. Stoic thinking teaches us that our reaction hurts us more than sorrow itself. Mental health is our biggest investment. Relationships give us the warmth and a sense of belonging that no luxury can. And finally, human psychology shows us that the real battlefield is our mind. So now the only question is, what do you want to make your thoughts like? Positive, strong, and mindful, or negative and weak? Because the truth is, you become what you think. Now the choice is yours. If you change your thoughts, your world will change.